Detroit is Kathryn Bigelow's newest movie about the 1967 Detroit riots. And this same director brought us The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. And this is her newest movie starring John Boyega and Will Poulter. I'm going to start off by saying the title should not really fit the movie, though, because the whole movie takes place at a hotel shooting, and it's about that sequence of events and how people were there, what happened. It doesn't really revolve around the entire Detroit riots like I thought. Going into this movie, I was expecting more a rounded base knowledge or, more documented version of what happened back in the 1960s during these riots. But the whole movie kind of sets up this hotel sequence, and then when you get into this hotel sequence, you really spend the majority of the movie, more than an hour, I would say, seeing what's going on, who gets shot, who dies, the people that get blamed, and just the whole events that happen throughout that. That being said, let's talk about the actors, because one of the most positive parts about this film, which is good, is the acting. My favorite was John Boyega. Now, although he didn't have a lot to say, he did have some key moments. Really, after the situation occurs, he's brought back and people are talking to him, and he has a scene where he's just shaking. And it's intense. I could see how well he was acting. I believed him that he was really scared and everything. And it excites me to see where he's going to go in his future. I love John Boyega in this film, even though he really wasn't the main focus, and there's really not really a main character, but he does a great job portraying a black security guard in 1967 riots of Detroit. The other character which I thought was the best was Will Poulter, the main antagonist cop, and to break it down, he's really just a racist asshole. He hates black people. He is using these scare tactics to get at the answers of what he wants out of the people in the hotel, and without his intensity, without his drive, without pretty much how evil he is, the film wouldn't carry as well. He really carries the entire film. The tone of the movie is all dependent on him, and the other actors can thrive off of his intensity. This really is a movie about showing how corrupt and racist the police were in 1967. Now, not all of them were, and I'm not going to get into politics very much, but a lot of the cops are assholes. It shows how racist they were, how they pretty much faked crime scenes and planted evidence. It's an intense movie, and you hate white people after it. It's disgusting. One thing the movie does well, the best part about it is how intense this movie is. It's just uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable movie. And even though I enjoyed the movie, it was really it's hard to watch. And I hope Kathryn was going for that, the director was going for that, because she achieved it. I was uncomfortable with the situation that was happening, how the officers dealt with it, and really shows how corrupt the system was back then and today, of how just fucked up the justice system could be. Some negatives I do have for the movie. It starts out with an animation talking about how blacks after the Civil War moved up north looking for jobs, and what happened after World War I, World War II, and basically all the way up to the 60s. But it didn't fit. I didn't even know the movie started until you saw text go, which moved kind of fast in my opinion. But it didn't fit. I would have much preferred if they just allowed us to watch what was happening in Detroit and how the riots began. Because they do show a little bit of it, how black people were doing their own thing at their own bar because they can't go to another bar, and they kick them out, and how it all starts in the riots and how the tension builds up. But I didn't like this animation thing. It just felt sort of tacked on. It didn't fit the movie. It was kind of weird. I would have much preferred if we just jumped in and learned about the riots and learned about the hate between the blacks and the police and the white people, and I think it would have fit better. Another negative I have is the editing and camera choice. They go hand in hand, because sometimes the editing is really quick and sharp. They go back and forth, and that's her style, but I thought it was a little much in this movie. But what I really didn't like was the shaky cam. I am not a huge hater of shaky cam. I think it fits. When it works, it works. In the beginning of this movie, when they were doing it, I thought it worked. It was effective. But it's a 2.5 hour movie, and they do shaky cam a lot. And it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I just want to see what's going on. I don't need this shaky zoom camera thing going on. And it got a bit of annoying, in my opinion. Also, I think the movie could just be a little structured better. The title could have been different, honestly, because it really just focuses on the Algee hotel and everything that's going on in there. That sequence takes an hour of the movie. It's the majority of the movie. It's the focus point. You see these characters go up, all meet up into this hotel pretty much through circumstances. And that's what I think the movie could have done better, was just kind of focus on more people a little better, and we would have a better understanding that this is the movie, that they're in the hotel and the sequence of the hotel and after with the trial. But overall, should you see this movie? I say, yeah, you should. I think it's a great movie. From what I hear, I haven't seen The Dark Tower yet, but that's the other movie coming out, and apparently this one is a lot better. I enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But with me saying that, I don't know if I want to watch this movie again. It's upsetting. It's not a fun watch. You're going to feel some feels that you might not thought you were gonna feel, for the lack of better meaning and phrasing. It's uncomfortable. You're gonna feel very uncomfortable. But that's my review for Detroit. I suggest going to see it. I enjoyed the movie enough, even though it's uncomfortable, and I hate white people. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. Bye.